Hello, in this video I'm going to show you how we can set up PVSneslib in Windows so we can create some SNES games and ROMs. So to start off with, let's go into Windows. So what you want to do is open a browser, and then navigate to PVSneslib. And scroll down and click on the Windows icon there. So that's downloading for me in the background now. Now what we want to do is go to the wiki site. And then go to the installation tab. And now the fun begins. Right, so using Windows, we need to create up a virtual Linux environment to use the tools here. So what we need and what is recommended here is we use the MySys2 setup environment to create a virtual Linux environment for us. So what you want to do is go to here, follow the link, when it wakes up no, that's the wrong one. Sorry, this is the right one here. So head over to this site here and then click on this download installer here. That will then download in the background. Then go back to this tab here. Then go to your downloads folder. And then what you should see is PVSneslib zip file and a MySys2 file. So double click on the MySys2 file. And click next. I would just go with the default here unless you need to install it elsewhere. Click next. So I've already installed it there, so I won't bother installing it again. So then once that downloads, you want to, it will probably open up. So navigate to the UCRT64 version there, as it says here. Then type in Pacman TAC capital S UUY and press return, and then that will make sure it gets everything that you need. Click yes to retrieve all the packages. So this basically acts as a virtual Linux environment. So now that's installed everything, you want to go back in there again to make sure we install make. So go to there again. What I recommend you do is pin it to the taskbar, then we can just open it in here. So now what you want to do is type pacman tac capital S and then make to install make. I'll install it again. And then what it says to do there is you must restart MySys2. So we will exit that now. So that should be that side set up there. So now what you want to do is you want to grab the Mesen Emulator. So head here and then download the Windows Dev Build. You will then download a zip folder. So extract that. And then you'll see this one here, so I would cut that and then navigate to somewhere where you're happy to bung some emulators, and then for me I'll go for the C drive here as this is a virtual machine, and then click into emulators, create a new folder called SNES and then paste Mesen in there. Then what you want to do is when you run Mesen for the first time, so if I delete all of this here and then paste a new one in there, now when you run this for the first time, it does that run anyway. What should happen is it should come up with another window. Yeah, here we go. So I would recommend that you store this profile setting in here so that you know where it is if you come to delete this emulator, not somewhere hidden by Windows, and then confirm that. So if you need to change any of your profiles or anything like that, and then this should open up a window here. Now you could open a SNES game, obviously we've not got it at the moment here, so we'll quit that. So we're all good there, so close that. Back to our PVSneslib tutorial bit here, so we've got our emulator. So if you scroll down now, it will say we need to set up our environment path. So first head back to your downloads folder and then unzip PVSneslib, and then if you go into that folder, so I've already gone through this once just to make sure that I could actually do it. I didn't want to do it on the actual day first, purely because of all of the awful updates Windows 10 was going to force on me. So I should hopefully be able to do this tutorial without being interrupted or delayed by the deluge of updates. So this folder, which it's unzipping here, it contains the PVSneslib library and also a compiler for the SNES as well, and a folder with a load of example programs in, which I highly recommend you go through and check out. So almost done here. There we go. So then cut that out of there, navigate to C drive or wherever, and then paste it into C drive, just like this. So I already have all these, so I'll just skip this. Then if you go in here, you'll see these 3 folders here. So what we're going to do, go on here, which will show you the path. You might need to enable this view, by the way. I'll let you to figure that out. Then copy this, and then go into here, go into settings, and then go into system. Oh God, where is it? No, I don't think it's there. I think it's one of their other ones. Okay, right click on there, then go into system here. There we go, good old Windows. And then go into advanced system settings, and then environment variables. Now you'll notice here it says that you need to use the Unix setup. So you click new, and then name PVSneslib home, just like that, and then make sure that the path that you put in is in this format here. So this is the location they've got here. Obviously ours is this here. So this is what it should look like. So there's no colon, and there's also the slashes are in the opposite way around. Now once you've got all of that set up, if you click in search here and type in CMD, open up a command window, and then go back to that location there, and then go into SNES examples, and then go into hello world, like so. Now we need to delete the hello world. Okay, it's not built in here. Okay. So now we're there, we should be able to, in fact no, we're not going to be able to do it in this one here. We need to navigate to MySys actually, so open up a MySys window actually. And then I think it's Shift C and insert. Yeah, that's right. And then CD, and then you want to use Unix style paths here. So Shift C and insert will do the shortcut for paste, and LS is to list in this window here. So now we want to go to the SNES examples here, and list that again, and then go into the Hello World folder. One thing to note with everything on Linux paths is do not have any spaces in the names of anything, otherwise they will not build. So now what we can do is type make, and then if everything went correctly, you should now see okay, where is it? Oh, it's automatically associated with itself there. So it's already, Mesen's already associated with it. So now you should be able to double click that. And if you see this, then everything's all set up for you and you're good to go. So one thing to remember, whenever you do anything, you're going to use a MySys terminal, and paths need to be in the Linux format, and then you can just use make to build the examples. So there's a load of different examples in here which I recommend you go through and look at. So what I am going to attempt to do now is to show you how to set up Codeblocks to build stuff. So I will now close this window here in MySys. And we're pretty much all good here now. Obviously, make sure you go and have a look through these other programming tutorials here. Now, if you're not interested in using Codeblocks, then you can leave the video here. For everyone else, if you've not installed Codeblocks before in Windows, then I have another video for that. I recommend you check that one out. So what we want to do now is open Codeblocks. Now go to Settings and Compiler, and then copy the GNU GCC compiler, and then rename that to SNES. I'm putting SNES 2. So now go to the Toolchains Executables tab, and we want to navigate to where we installed the PVSneslib folder. So go to devkit SNES, then the bin folder, and select the folder. Now on the C compiler, click the buttons at the end there, navigate back to the PVSneslib folder, to devkit SNES in the bin folder, and select 816TC, which is the compiler for the SNES that we'll be using. And then for these other two here, we're using WLA link. Make sure it's WLA link that you use, not the others. Then delete the Windows resource there, and then change the make to the MySys version. So navigate to where you installed MySys 64, and then it's in user, I believe, bin folder, and then scroll down to make. There you go. And then in our search directories, under compiler, go to add, and then browse back to PVSneslib, devkit snes, include folder, and we can copy that, select the folder, OK, add another, paste that back in, so we can quickly come back out of there, go to PVSneslib, include, and copy that again, select that one, OK. Now go to linker, add, paste that in, go back, select the lib folder, and then that should be us all set up. OK, that. Right, now what we need to do is to double check that we have everything all good to go. So if we go on file here, and then we'll create a new project, we'll create an empty project, and then go next, create a folder system called SNESdev. Put it wherever you want, obviously make sure there's no spaces in there, select that folder, and then call your first project hello. I'm putting a 2 there to separate mine from my last project here. Make sure you've only got release selected there, then click finish. Now what we need to do is open 2 windows side by side. One needs to point to the PVSneslib under SNES examples and then hello world, and then the other needs to point to the SNESdev folder you just created, and then go back to our project. Now what we want here is the font, the PNG file here, paste that across, that's our font. Then we want the make file and the header.asm and the data.asm. Copy all of those and paste them across. Now the hello world C file that we want, open that in a text editor of your choice, and then move that over to the left. Now head back to Codeblocks, click on this one here, right click that and add files recursively. Make sure you're in the right location, select that folder, and then select the make file, and we'll import these as well. I'll explain what these are in a bit, or rather in a future video, sorry. Then go to create a new file, select C, C++ source file, and go. Make sure it's C. Make sure you select the release there, and then navigate, make sure you're in the location here, and type main.c, save that, and then finish. Now what we should be able to do now is if you type hash and include, and then type in, there we go, and then you should see autocomplete there if you set up everything as I did previously for the compiler. So bung that one in there. Now what we want to do is copy everything from the text file here over into our project here. press F2 to make that larger. Now we can close this one on the left here and then make our Codeblocks project full screen. So what we need to do now is we need to do a few more things first to change our project. So go to project and then properties, and then make sure you tick this is a custom make file. Then go into project build options. In fact, it's not picking that up yet, so OK that, and then go back in there. Go on to release, and then under the make commands there, get rid of target and file, and then target again, and then get rid of target again, and then type in clean, and then OK that, and then save that. Then press F2 to make sure we come up to the build log here, and then type, and then click on the build option. Right, it's having issues here because this is set up to use the Linux environment here. So the program is all fine. What we're going to have to do to build it is open a MySys window, and then copy the path, Ctrl-C and insert, so CD, and then replace the slashes with backslashes. Now type make. And there we go. Unfortunately, it's going to be a slightly longer winded way of doing this, but we got there in the end. So here's our file here. We could really do with C and D extensions on the end there, but I'll leave that for yourself to set up. So now if we double click on that, it should open automatically with the Mesen Emulator. And then if you see this, it means you're now good to go in Codeblocks. It just means each time you're going to have to go through that extra step of opening and running make from MySys, but at least you can use the autocomplete functionality in here. So that is it for this video on setting all of this up in Windows. Hopefully you've successfully managed to do that. Let me know how you get on in the comments below. Obviously make sure you check out all of the guides on the PVSneslib wiki. Maybe the build process would be easier in Visual Studio Code on Windows than it is on Codeblocks, but I've always found the PVSneslib to be kind of finicky to play around with, but it's worth it in the end when you get your SNES programs running. Alright, that's it for this video. I will catch you in the next one.